My name is Mervyn D'Souza. I'm a mindfulness coach working in London in the United Kingdom. This is a short act-based mindfulness exercise which can be very helpful when you're feeling quite stressed at work or even at home. I use this exercise quite a lot with my clients and also when I'm feeling stressed myself. Now, to get the most out of these act-based exercises, it's really important to understand that with this mindfulness approach to stress management, what we're trying to do is to try to create a kind of accepting willingness space in which stressful feelings and thoughts can arise, and we don't get into a big battle or struggle with them, because what the research is showing that when stress arises, the more we struggle with it, the more we tend to amplify it and make it even worse in our lives. So when you actually do these exercises, try to do them with this kind of mind frame of wanting to try to make space for the feelings rather than trying to push them away. Hopefully in the other videos in this series you get an idea of why that's so important. Now, the other important thing to do is to practice on a regular basis. If you only try this exercise once or twice in a week, you're unlikely to see much difference in your life. What I would strongly advise you to do is just give yourself like a practice month, and for that month you regularly practice it for about 25 minutes in a day. It doesn't have to be a complete 25-minute block. You can split this up into maybe spending 5 minutes in the morning before you go to work, 5 minutes at tea break time at work in the morning, and then 5 minutes at lunchtime, 5 minutes in the afternoon, and maybe 5 minutes when you get back home. So putting little chunks of mindfulness in your day can really help you to cope better with the stresses and strains of everyday life. So let's get started. First of all, what I'd like you to do is to sit down with your feet, both feet firmly on the ground, and your back upright straight, and your hands resting on your lap with your hands together. What I'd like you to start to do initially is just to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Just breathe, and as you're breathing in, I'd like you to imagine that you're actually breathing in and out from your feet, just to help you to get really grounded in your body. So as you're breathing in, imagine you're breathing in air from your feet, and as you're breathing out, you're releasing air through your feet. And as you're doing that, really get in touch with the sensation of your feet firmly on the ground. This helps to like really anchor us and gives us a sense of like stability. So just breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly, just noticing your feet on the ground as you do this. Now what I'd like you to do is to do another 3 count breathing exercise, but this time really notice the breath coming into and out of your lungs. So breathe into your lungs very slowly, feel your rib cage and your stomach expanding, and then breathe out again. And do this quite slowly, so breathe in again, feel your rib cage expanding and your stomach area expanding, and then breathe out again. If you do this one more time, breathe in, expand the rib cage, and breathe out. Now we'll just do a very quick body scan. Just start to notice how your legs are feeling right now. So just notice your 2 legs and your feet on the ground, and just sort of bring your attention into them as you breathe in and out. And just notice how they're feeling right now, without trying to change anything or modify anything. Just be aware of the sensations. Now become aware of your whole upper back and your lower back. Just imagine you were breathing into and out of your back, and just notice the sensations you are experiencing right now. Just as if you were like a curious scientist, just observing things for the very first time. So just breathe in and out, and down your back. Now start to just notice the front of your body. Notice your lungs as you breathe in, notice your stomach, your liver, just the whole upper and lower body. And just notice how the internal organs in your body are actually feeling right now. And whatever sensations you notice, just sort of be open to them, let them be there without struggling with them. And just experiment with this new approach of dealing with stress and see whether in the long term it's a slightly better way of handling stressful feelings, just by opening up to them rather than trying to push them away. So just notice the sensations in your chest area, in your stomach area. Just breathing into them and around them, just making the space for them just to be there as you breathe in and around them. Now start to notice your shoulders, your arms and your fingers. So just breathe into these areas. And as you breathe into them, just notice what sort of sensations you're experiencing right now. Just in a very neutral, observing kind of way. Just noticing, if you're noticing tension in the shoulders, just notice the tension without making a big effort to try and stop it. Now notice your neck and your head. Just bring your awareness gently to just observing the sensations in your neck and your head. And again, just whatever you're feeling, you might have a tense headache or tense shoulders or whatever. Just again, just breathe in and around and just imagine you're creating this space to allow those feelings just to be there. Now become aware of your eyes. Just notice how they're feeling. Notice what you're hearing. Notice what you can smell. Notice what you can taste in your mouth. Notice what you can feel on the cheeks on your face. Notice the hair on your head and your whole scalp area. Now as you breathe in and out, just sort of imagine now that you're just aware of your whole body. You can be aware of your whole body resting on the chair. Your feet, your arms, your legs, shoulders, your back, and your head. Just imagine your whole body resting on the chair and your feet in contact with the ground. And every time you notice your mind wandering around, just gently bring it back to just focusing on the different points in the body that we've been talking about. It's quite normal for the mind to race around in the initial phase of mindfulness, but in time it becomes easier and easier to become more concentrated and focused. So just keep practicing. Now that you've got a more, hopefully a more concrete awareness of your body, what I'd like you to do now is just to notice what thoughts are going through your mind. And just to sort of imagine they were like clouds in the sky, and you were just sitting on the grass and you were just watching these clouds of thoughts passing through your mind. So it doesn't really matter what the thoughts are. For this exercise, just sort of notice the thoughts as they're going through your mind. And you may say something like, I'm noticing I'm having a thought about this aspect of my job, or about my manager, or about this employee I work with. And you just sort of label the thoughts in that way. Just say, I am noticing I'm having a thought about X, Y, or Z. So now just take a moment and just sort of notice, in this mindful, noticing way, what thoughts are actually going through your mind right now. And whatever they are, just allow them to be there, give them space, without necessarily believing them 100% or disbelieving them. Just be kind of neutral for this particular part of the exercise. And again, every time you seem to get lost in a thought, or you get caught up in a thought, just bring your attention back to just noticing the thought. Just step out of the thought and just notice the thought that caught you. And just say, oh, I'm noticing I'm having a thought about this aspect of my work. And just carry on repeating the exercise. Again, the more you practice, the easier and easier these exercises will become. Now, after you've done this for a bit, I would suggest a couple of minutes. What the next part of the exercise is to just notice how you're actually feeling in your body. So maybe just close your eyes if you've got your eyes open and just notice internally how you're actually feeling right now. Are you feeling anxious, agitated, irritable, tired perhaps? Maybe find where one of these feelings is most strongly felt. And as you breathe into and out of that area, try to just have the intention of just opening up to that feeling, letting go of the struggle to try and push it away or fight with it, and just opening up to it and making space for it. And just experiment to see with this new approach of relating to feelings, maybe in the long term, has more beneficial effects in your life. So just imagine you were holding a feeling in your hand and you were just opening up to it as if it were a flower just resting in your hand. Just allow it to be there, breathe in and around it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it or you don't want it, but can we just be willing just to allow it to be just the way it is, just for this moment in time. And if you notice yourself struggling with it, that's normal, that's natural. But just see, for this moment in time, you can just not actually do anything about the wish to struggle with it. Just open up to the feeling and just let it be there. Again, with time and practice, this becomes easier and easier. So again, depending on how stressed you're feeling, you may want to spend a little bit more time on this phase of the exercise. Just opening up to that particular feeling you're feeling, maybe the butterfly feeling in your stomach, or the tension headache in your head, and just opening up to it, breathing in and around it, making space for it. Then when you've done these two parts of the exercise, where noticing your thoughts and noticing your feelings and making space for them, what I'd like you to do now is just to bring your attention more into the outer world. So start to focus on your senses. So if you've got your eyes closed, I suggest you open your eyes and you start to just notice what you can see around you. Maybe choose an interesting object that you can see, maybe a flower, or some beautiful scene outside the window. And just really tune into it. Notice the colours that you are seeing. Notice how the colours change moment to moment. Notice the shape of the objects. Now tune into what you can hear. Listen to 3 or 4 different sounds for about 5 seconds each. And just notice how the sounds change moment to moment. Again, just try to just notice the sounds without getting too caught up in the thoughts around them. Just try and get into this mindful observing space. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you'll get updates on any further videos I post.